What's up, guys? Welcome back to some more Marvel Contest of Champions, and today I'm going to be doing my 2-year progress for this game, which actually yesterday was my 2-year. It has been 2 years of me playing the game, but we had the update, so I wanted to wait a day, see how the update does, and then do my video. And as far as the update is concerned, it is the worst update of the game. And I'm not just saying that because everyone else is saying it. Just playing the game, it's not the same. You take so much more damage when blocking, and among other things. There's certain champs that are really messed up, like Gambit. If you have suicide masteries, then your Gambit instantly dies at the beginning of the fight. Maybe he might last 1 second, but it's like 2 ticks depending on how much health your Gambit has, and he's dead. But before I get into all that, let's show you how far I've gotten in the game as far as like champions are concerned. Let's start off with 5-star champs, and you can see I have 8. I've been stuck with 8 for quite a while now. I recently opened up some 2 5-star crystals and duped both Captain Marvel and Drax. And my Captain Marvel, she is at signature level 60 now. So for the most part, I'm happy with that, but I still would have liked a new champion. I was going for Mortal, so obviously that's what I wanted. So if I would have gotten one Mortal and a Captain Marvel dupe, then I would have been pretty happy with that opening, but for the most part, it was a disappointment. For my 4 stars, let's see, I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65. Almost 70. I thought I had more than 70. No, that's right. So 69 4-star champs, unless I count it wrong. All of which, except for Phoenix, is at least rank 3. Phoenix I just got, so I'm waiting for a cosmic advancement, and then I'll take her up. And I was going to possibly do some rank up and rank downs in this video, but I wanted to wait and see what Kabam does with this update, if they decide to stick with it, what type of changes they're going to make, because that would influence maybe certain champs that I decide to rank down, like Black Widow. They reduced her signature ability, which I just maxed out like 2 days ago. So it used to be 101, or was it 100.1? I can't remember, but anyways, it was 100% reduction of enemy defensive ability accuracy. But now that's dropped down to 70%, well, 69.99, so 70%, which is a huge reduction. I mean, I think it should have at most, if they're going to reduce it, at most reduce it to 85% maybe, but 70%, that's a huge reduction. I did fight a Spidey in the arena, and he evaded me a couple of times, and they were at the times that he evaded was right when I was about to do my special attack, which caused him to block it, and then I got hit immediately afterwards. So I put some signature stones into Black Widow, and had I known at the time that she was going to be nerfed like she was, then I would have put more stones into, say, Daredevil, whose signature ability, he's at signature level 40, and I probably would have brought him up to like 79 or something like that, which would have given him a 95% chance to evade projectiles, which is so much better to have than, you know, Black Widow's now lower signature ability, because Daredevil, he does a lot better against Spider-Man than Black Widow does now, because he can evade that first special, and he does have the block reduction and or chance to perfect block, a 40% chance, I think. Pretty sure before the update it was at 33, so that's an improvement right there. Doctor Strange, I thought that he wasn't going to be changed all too much. They wasn't giving us the numbers as to what his regen was going to be, and probably because it's as low as was it 66%, or not? I'm sorry, not percent. It's 60, so 67 life steal, and if you have the mastery recovery maxed out, then that boosts it up to 77 health points each time you land a hit, but you've only got a 9-second window to land that hit. And it really, if you're watching your health, it really doesn't go up very much. It's a pretty crappy nerf for Doctor Strange. Not only that, he takes him longer to cycle through his buffs. And I haven't tested him out too much to see like the damage reduction, because I'm hearing a lot of champions have damage reduction. I watched a video of Dorky Dave did video on Scarlet Witch before and after the nerf, and you know, the thing about Scarlet Witch is she can, aside from her regen and her ability to stun and keep the champion stunned, like, you know, pretty much the whole fight, was she would get the cruelty and fury buffs, and when you did her second special, you know, you're doing some serious damage on that. And he said that the highest he was getting like between like 5,000 and 9,000 after the update, and before probably like around 30,000, 20 or 30,000, you know, when using her second special, which is pretty crappy. And you know, the whole reason for this update is that they and whenever they do updates like this, is they say that they want to bring balance back to the game, you know, so you're using different champions. But like with this update, the champs that weren't affected as bad, I mean, everybody's block proficiency was affected, but you still have like X-23, who when she regens, I think this came out to like 100 and I want to say 150, 160, somewhere around that, with recovery maxed out, and it's actually an improvement, a little bit of improvement of what she was doing before with her regen. So it's like now people are going to want to try to get X-23 and Wolverine. Because Wolverine, his regen isn't as much. Mine is only a rank 4. And he's not awakened. But he does stack regen. So that kind of makes up the difference of his regen, his single regen being less than X-23. Ghost Rider, his was affected, but not as much as Doctor Strange. He actually does more. Where is it? There you. Okay, so he does 91.5. He gets 91.5 health back each attack, which this is a rank 3, and if you look at this rank 5 Ghost Rider, you would see that his is 106, which, you know, obviously it it's not on a cycle. It doesn't happen as often, so maybe that's why they decided to give him more regen than Doctor Strange. But you know, it's a significant amount. I actually wouldn't have been too upset with the Doctor Strange change if his was that high, but as low as it is, you hardly notice the difference. And as far as Alliance Quest, I won't be taking him into Alliance Quest anymore. Wolverine X-23 will be my full-time Alliance Quest champion, along with Daredevil and who's the other? My 5-star Captain Marvel right here. So those three are going to be my full-time Alliance Quest teams. And then as far as Alliance War, I have no idea. I might have to rank down Doctor Strange and bring up Ghost Rider, possibly awaken him. I'm not sure what his awakened ability is, but I hear he's like so much better when he's awakened. So that's something that I'm going to have to figure out. Give it a week or two and see what type of changes, if any, Kabam makes. If they don't make any changes, I'm sure a ton of people, probably like half or more of their player base will quit the game. But let's see. I have 8 champs that have maxed out 4 stars. I was going to make it 9, but I didn't get that Quake. And I mean, I could take up Abomination, but when I read his description, his updates, I was a little bit confused. I misread it. I thought his poison from his awaken ability was going to be increased. So I'm like, oh man, they're nerfing Black Widow, and then they're going to raise his from 15% to, you know, whatever. But it was actually his unawakened poison. When you cause him to bleed, it's a 95% chance to trigger poison, and the amount of poison isn't that much, and that poison doesn't stack, so it's really not a buff for him. But what they didn't say in there was that his second special was changed. So I was doing the fight with him, and I was like, okay, let me finish this fight off with an L2. You know, and when I do his L2 normally, I do it after a second medium attack. And I did that, and it wasn't what I was expecting. It's a completely different animation, and on top of that, it was blocked. And I'm finding out that for a few of the champs, I haven't, you know, gone through all the champs, and I haven't done every single special yet, but for a few of them, you can no longer do a that first or second special after doing the second medium attack, which, I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but it takes some adjustment, and I don't know if that was intentional or just a result of the update, like some side effect. We'll have to see. A couple champions that I will be for sure ranking down is Black Bolt. I mean, he does have that armor break, that new armor break, but I mean, his signature ability is still crap, and the only reason why I brought him up was because of the block proficiency. So him and the original Cyclops on here, the red New Age, the new Avengers school, new Xavier school Cyclops. You know, I brought those two up because they were part of that perfect block synergy, and then they got rid of that. So I really have no reason to have either of these two, especially this Cyclops here, because the only way that I'm going to awaken him is to use a signature stone on, or awakening gem on him, and use some signature stones, or complete the Labyrinth of Legends, which I'm not going to be doing ever. I don't have the patience, and if this update sticks, I really don't think anybody is going to want to complete the Labyrinth of Legends anymore. If I might possibly bring up the blue team Cyclops, but that's something that we'll have to see down the road. And I'm a bit confused about the new stats that they have. Looking at it, you know, certain champs like this Spider-Gwen right here. So you look at her armor break, lowering their armor rating by 525. So you're like, what does that even mean? Because it's no longer a percentage. And when you go look at her armor rating, it's 493. So you're like, okay, so does that mean that she's doing over 100% armor reduction for certain champs? And I did a fight with her thinking that she was going to do like an extreme amount of damage with her armor breaks, but it was hardly noticeable, possibly because I was fighting a rank 5 Old Man Logan. You know, just trying. I was doing duels is what I was doing, so I figured while I was doing duels I would test out certain champions, and I didn't really see it. I didn't understand the armor break, how the armor reduction works when it's in this new format. So a lot of things that Kabam needs to figure out now before they lose their player base. I do like the update to Punisher. I think both specials now cause bleed, and if they're bleeding and you hit them while they're bleeding, then he has a chance to inflict more bleed. So I mean, he's a champion that can do some serious damage going forward. I actually wouldn't mind awakening him now. He keeps the same signature ability. They fixed it so that you can't attack and wise block in to bypass that signature ability. Now it triggers either way, but it's still percentage based. So as you can see, I have 1.5, almost 1.6 million battle chips up there. So pretty soon I'll be trying for Punisher to awaken him again, and may even level him up to rank 4. Rank him up to rank 4 and see how he does. Winter Soldier, I'm a bit confused about his new abilities. He has different ammo packs, but I haven't played around with him enough to see how that affects his attacks and everything. Yes, I'm gonna have to continue playing with these champions just to figure out, you know, what all is different. Obviously, for everybody, they have that reduction in block proficiency, which is something that I don't understand, because everybody, or most people, are testing this out on the Winter Soldier and Realm of Legends, and what we're getting replies back from Kabam Mike is that, well, he has a higher challenger rating. You know, he's because of his champion PI or whatever. I don't know what it is, but that's not what they said that it was based off of before. The challenger rating before they said was going to be based off of the your champion's rank and rarity, and the rarity being whether they're a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5-star champion. So when you're looking at the Winter Soldier and all the champions that's in the realm of legends, their ranks are, they're 4-star champions, and they are rank 5, level 50. And so if I'm taking my rank 5, level 50 champions against them, I shouldn't be taking that increased damage, but you are. So I don't understand it. But you know, it is what it is. Real quick, let me jump over to masteries. A few people have asked me about my mastery setup, and here it is. Not sure if it'll be changing or not. For offense, I put most of mine into cruelty and precision. So you can see I maxed both of those out. And that's about it. I do have, you know, a point over here in despair and 1 point in unfazed, and that was, I just wanted to test out unfazed. It helps a little bit. It maxes out at 55% chance to become unstoppable if the opponent does an auto evade. But not sure that it's worth taking all the way up there. I put the points there, and since I unlocked it, I figured I'd just keep it. As far as defense, I have the block proficiency maxed out, which doesn't seem to be helping anymore. I've got stand your ground at rank 4. Initially I was going to take this to rank 5, but you know, I ended up using the extra point, you know, elsewhere, and just, you know, decided that it's not something that needs to be maxed out now. I am keeping salve maxed out. It has helped in certain situations, if you can believe that. Mainly when I'm using, or when I was using Captain America, you know, fighting a boss in Alliance Wars. After you hit him, he would get that perfect block, and then so he gets 5 health points per tick, and that ends up adding up over the fight. So if I time out and then start the next fight, I'll have a little bit more health than, you know, what I did before I started the fight. So it helps in cases like that, because if I didn't have that, then when I started the fight again, I'd barely have any health, and I wouldn't be able to block, you know, at the start of the fight, because you can't parry the Alliance War boss, so you have to block them or try to land that hit to get that perfect block first. But aside from that, it's not really a big help, but you know, I've had it for a long time, so I'm gonna keep it. Recovery, very, very important right now, because most regen champs have been nerfed, except for like X23 Wolverine. They actually gave a regen buff to Old Man Logan, who I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was at maybe like 9 per tick, maybe 13, something like that. But you know, that has been doubled or tripled in certain cases. Let's see who else. Mordo, if you get a regen from him, I think it says that he gets like somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 health back over, you know, X amount of seconds. I can't remember what the seconds are. I don't have them. I hear that Guillotine, she can still regen a huge chunk of health. But you know, the Doctor Strange, the Scarlet Witch, you know, that's all gone. They're barely doing any regen whatsoever. So any amount of regen that you can get is really going to be helpful going forward. And as you can see, I also have willpower max, just because I had it max before they nerfed it, and I didn't feel like taking the points off. So if I need the points at some point in time down the road, that's possibly where I would take it from. But you know, we'll see. And this one over here, this was on here because this was pre nerf of willpower as well, and I was using this when we were doing map 3, I think it was, of Alliance Quest. There's a path where it's a bleed path, so at the start of the fight for like 60 seconds or something like that, you lose a certain amount of health. And if you had this on, then you lose a little bit less health, but willpower was giving me, so with willpower I was getting like I don't know, like 15 or 20 health per tick, which, you know, helped me regen through that section. And then they would nerf willpower, and I just never took it off. Over to utilities. See that I maxed out Limber because a lot of people that I fight in arena have this maxed out, and it helps unless they have Stupefy maxed out and parry. Then it basically just balances it out. So most of the people that I fight in arena have these maxed out, or at least to like level 2 maybe, I'm not sure. And when they don't have these maxed out, if I parry them, then I'm able to hit them afterwards. Well, no, scratch that. If they don't have it maxed out, when they parry me, then it wears off before they can land a hit. That's what I meant to say. And then you would also notice that I have Mystic Dispersion maxed out, which I really need now if I'm going to keep using Doctor Strange, because they slowed down his health gain. Not health gain, well, yes, they slowed that down too, but they slowed down his power gain. That's what I meant to say. And then over here, very, very important is Detect Science. When doing Alliance Wars, need to know if you're going to be going up against the Science, which is most likely going to be Spider-Man or Electro, and some other cases could be what's his name, Yellow Jacket, if it's like an unblockable first, or Abomination, maybe on a heal block node, or enhanced trigger abilities. You know what I'm talking about. Enhanced abilities. But you know, people using so many Black Widows, those champions like slowly decrease. But you know, you still want to know when you're possibly going to need that Black Widow or Crossbones. And I'm currently trying to figure out if I'm going to keep using Crossbones or if I'm going to keep using Black Widow, because I've been testing Crossbones the past week and it hasn't gone too well. So we'll see. So that's it for my progress over 2 years. Final thoughts on the 12.0 patch. It's an odd time to do it, in my opinion. Something like this, it actually makes no sense, because if you go over to the Play Store, you'll see that they have a game that's coming soon, and this game is Transformers. And you know, looking at Seat and play it, it looks like a fun game. Obviously, because I've invested so much time into Contest of Champions, it's not Like, I would just drop constants as champions and jump over to Transformers, even though the gameplay looks like it's so much more fun because you can, instead of dashing back to evade stuff, you actually dash into the background or in the foreground, which makes a lot more sense because you're moving out of the way of the attack. But I wasn't going to just like jump over to that. I was, probably just going to try it out, play it a little bit. If I needed something different than Contest of Champions, hop on over there, and play it just a little bit. But with this update, it begs the question as to why I would bother playing that other game, because from what I've learned from Kabam, whatever you working towards getting, building your roster around, fighting style, all they're going to do in the future is change that and make you work towards something else. So I spend all my time, getting champions, ranking up certain ones that I find to be more usable than others, and then they're going to say, well, too many people are using these champions, let's nerf them, make you use some of these other champions that we created. And they keep saying that we're trying to bring balance to the game, or they say stuff like we have to keep making the content harder because when we made it, this champion wasn't in the game or that champion wasn't in the game. And I'm not sure what they expected, considering that every 2 weeks they release a new champion, so 26 champions a year. And they said that they have plans on going through 2020. So going to 2020, that is an additional 78 champions in the game. And so whatever content that you make right now, you're going to have so many more champions in the game that you didn't plan for having. So it's going to make certain content more easier once you get these new champs. And so that whole line of, it's not how we intended, it's a bunch of crap in my opinion. And or they say we made this content before creating masteries or certain synergies, and it's like, why did you even put it in the game? The reason that you put it in the game was to make certain things easier, and now that it's easier, you're saying that it's too easy, and you didn't want it like that. You wanted it how it originally was, so you shouldn't have introduced synergies and masteries in the first place. But that's my opinion on that. But like I said, it's going to hurt their future games, like Transformers, because people come to expect that they're just going to change anything that's good in the game. And I won't say that I was looking forward to this update in particular. What I was looking forward to was the updated arenas, because they're separating basic arena from the featured arena. So obviously I won't be going for any of the new featured champions, but what I would be doing is going for the basic champions, and I wouldn't have to worry about overshooting for that champion. And then in the featured arena, I would just go, just shoot for the shards. That's it. If enough people stop playing, maybe I can get a featured champion, a new featured champion, but who knows? I might stop playing as well. I know a lot of people in my alliance are thinking about quitting, especially if they have to spend money to do alliance quests and alliance wars. I've told them that I'm not going to be able to buy the featured crystals anymore, because all of those units are going to have to go to, alliance quest and alliance war just to make it through. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's smart on their part. I really think they should consider rolling back this update, taking it back to the way it was. Maybe just tone down a few of the things. Maybe tone down the how often Scarlet Witch triggers regen. That's one thing I didn't understand. They reduce the amount of the percentage that she can trigger it, and then they reduced how much she can regen. It's like, why would you do both? You know, I didn't understand that. But they should really rethink this if they still have plans to go through 2020 and take most, if not all, of this stuff back. I mean, the game was highly profitable from, you know, what I understood, and lots and lots, the majority of the people that played the game were happy playing the game. They found it challenging in certain aspects. Obviously, Labyrinth of Legends was something that was the new challenge. People were trying, you know, saving up money, saving up units. What is it? Potions, and, you know, saving all that stuff up so that they could try to complete the Labyrinth of Legends, with, you know, without spending too much money. But that's not even something that seems possible anymore. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Anyways, guys, if you made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching. Sorry it was so long. Take care, everyone, and have a great day.